And I would like to adjourn this May 14th, 2020 meeting of the Bristol Borough Board of Education. Call to order. Could everyone please stand for a salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey Jen, are you gonna do the roll call for us, please?
You want me to?
Well, no, I just see that you're here. If it's easier, because that's really the only thing you would have to do, right?
I don't mind. If you think it's going to be, better, no problem.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Ciccoletti. Okay.
Couldn't figure it out.
Jen doesn't have a camera.
Yeah.
Her phone, so you have to unmute yourself and say yes, so she can hear it.
Raise his hand.
Okay. Mr. Cullen.
Here.
Mr. D'Angelo.
Here.
Mr. DeMarcus.
Yes.
Ms. Paglione. Same thing.
Here.
Mr. Polyafrico. Mr. Polyafrico. Okay. Mr. Parolo.
Here.
Mr. Poplawski.
Here.
And Mr. Rusin.
Here.
Okay.
Okay. First order of business. Somebody's got their TV on. So
Yeah.
everybody please mute. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna, Mr. Truelove, I'm gonna read this notice. This meeting will be conducted live, but in a virtual format via Zoom technology. The March board meeting. The process is permissible under and consistent with applicable Pennsylvania School Code, Sunshine Act, and Bristol Borough School District policy provisions. Public's access for participation in the meeting can be accomplished as per the instructions that went out to the public. And with that, I would like to welcome everyone, and I would like to go now to item 3, which would be to approve the agenda with set addendum item F. Item F has been changed. Mr. Ciccoletti, can I get a motion? How about Mr. Cullen? Can I get a motion?
Like to approve the agenda.
Item 3. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Parola. Could you, I'll do the roll call. Mr. Ciccoletti.
Yes.
Mr. Cullen.
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus.
Yes.
Mrs. Bettina Paglione.
Yes.
Mr. Polyafrico. We'll come back. Mr. Parolo.
Yes.
Mr.
Yeah.
Poplawski.
Yes.
And Mr. Rusin.
Yep.
All right, that motion carries 8-0-0. Let's just give one more shot. Mr. Polyafrico? Okay. We'll try to get him back on board.
He did say yes. There's
Oh,
a
you did?
delay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Polyafrico. Okay, let's go to the reports and presentations. Dr. Minetti.
Thank you. I hope you and your families are doing well. Although the district remains physically closed, There are many important activities going on behind the scenes to ensure that we are preparing for end-of-year events, summer programs, and the possibility of opening of school for next year. In addition, our teachers continue to provide both synchronous and asynchronous instructional opportunities to students through our continuity of education plan. Thank you to all the parents and guardians who continue to support their students' academic and emotional success. Your involvement has an immeasurable positive impact on your child's growth and achievement as a learner. If the district can support you and your family in any way, please do not hesitate to contact your students' teachers or the administration. So some updates for the community. We do a community update every week that's posted on our website. It's also posted on our Facebook page, and we send it out to all of our email addresses. I encourage all community members to check postings weekly for district updates. That's where we put all new information that we have. Next week is our celebration of our seniors. District teams will be distributing lawn signs and goodie bags to our seniors' homes on Wednesday, weather permitting. In addition, personalized signs for each student will be posted outside of the elementary school. So we're looking forward to that. I did have tentative plans for graduation that I was going to share with the community today. Unfortunately, the governor has put forth some mandates regarding graduation. And I'm going to read from PDE's website. Schools located in counties or regions that are in the red phase may only hold virtual events for graduation and other traditional end-of-year ceremonies. Larger gatherings are prohibited and travel should be limited to life-sustaining purposes. Schools located in counties or regions in the yellow phase are limited to gatherings of no more than 25 and must follow CDC and Department of Health guidelines for social distancing. We're waiting for a little more clarity on what they mean for being in red. Does it have to be entirely virtual? Can we bring students in and small groups of their families in one at a time into the buildings? So because that guidance just came out, we're going to hold off on putting our plan forward. The board has agreed to have another meeting in the first week of June, on June 4th, to finalize our plans. As plans start to unfold, we will keep the community updated in our community weekly letter. So please check back, parents. We're really disappointed that this kind of guidance came out last minute because a lot of schools already have their plans in place, and that's what we would have liked to do today. The district is in the process of collecting students' personal items and textbooks from classrooms and lockers. A schedule will be in place within the next week for parents to retrieve students' personal belongings. The Bristol Borough School District received a continuity of education grant from the Department of Education in the amount of $61,300. The grant will be used to purchase Chromebooks, hotspots, and learning supplies for students. The Bristol Borough School District is one of only 47 educational organizations across the state to receive the grant. There is a survey on the website for parents of 2020-2021 kindergarten students. We ask that you fill that out. So we're taking a survey just to see how many students we have coming up in our kindergarten class. This survey will also allow you to choose an option that we will send the registration packets to your home if you do not feel comfortable going to one of the schools to pick up the registration packets. Right now, just kindergarten registration packets are available at the administration building, at the elementary school, and at the high school. They're also available on our website. You can download them yourself. And we continue to distribute breakfast and lunches to families in the borough. Any child is welcome to come and get meals at either the high school or the elementary school. Meals are generally distributed on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That is my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rose. Does anybody have any other questions or concerns for Rose? Okay, there's one thing that I omitted. I apologize to Mr. Truelove. I would like to inform the public that the board met in executive session from 6 o'clock to 7:12 in order to discuss some personnel and legal matters. We apologize for running over. Okay? Okay, item 4, public participation. Is there anyone from the public that has joined us that would like, has a question or concern or would like to speak? I'll take that
Yes,
as a no.
sorry, John, I wasn't clear on you. Jim
Yeah,
Fine,
Jim.
how are you?
How are you, Jim? Good.
Great to see you guys persisting in the midst of this. And my question, John, for you and our district administrators is, are you in touch with our state senator and representative, Tommy Tomlinson and John Galloway, to let them know the district's needs and the importance of providing state support to avoid the kind of setbacks that we suffered in the Great Recession 7 or 8 years ago?
Okay, Jim,
I can take this. We actually just had a session last Friday with the legislature, and our students actually were able to participate in that. And Gianni Quattrochi was our student representative in that forum, and students from across Bucks County were actually able to ask those types of questions. So they are aware on that level of what the concerns are, not only from the citizens, but also from the students and from the administration. In addition, we have meetings twice a week with Bucks County IU, and there are times that Representative Fitzpatrick is actually on the meetings and then uses that guidance when he goes in and speaks on issues. So we are in touch with our legislature on many levels concerning our funding for next year. It's a big issue for us. We're very worried about what's going to happen for next year and what we're going to have to do and the personal protective equipment that we may need, and how are we going to supply that for all of our students in addition to the learning and mental health needs that are out there. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Minetti. And I would just encourage the board, John, to let us know, let the public know when and as opportunities arise where we should pick up the ball and work with our local state and senators and representatives as well, so that we can activate citizens to let people in Harrisburg and in Washington, but especially in Harrisburg, know what we need to make sure we don't fall back in the way that we fell back during the Great Recession.
And Jim, if I could just add to what Dr. Minetti was saying, the Bucks County IU on the federal level. So what's happening now, and if you see on the news, this $3 trillion that they're proposing to be spent, a lot of that is, I think almost $500 billion is going to go to states in order to cover the losses of revenue. So the state of Pennsylvania lost about $6 billion in revenue. And so we're not real sure. We had a preliminary budget, but they're probably going to say to us, well, we don't have $6 billion more. And usually if you kind of cut the money out, about more than 2/3 of the Pennsylvania budget, it's like $23 billion is for education. So they're going to lose money. They're expecting to get it from the federal government. What the IU did was to join together, as Dr. Minetti said, with the 13-member districts in Bucks County and really brainstorm a list of a 3 or 4 page list that was sent to both our senators Casey and also to Congressman Fitzpatrick. And I actually have a copy of that, Jim. And when I get home, I will send that to you and you can look through it. But I can tell you, and I think Dr. Minetti has been getting updated, that this document that was sent by Bucks County is really being used in Congress as a template for most of the other states. And so our voices are being heard there. And, now, again, as you see this $3 trillion proposal going through the federal government, as that goes, so goes our forces. And I'm sure we'll be able to update you again on our next meeting. But when I get home, I'll send you an attachment of all the stuff that the IU had kind of presented on the federal level.
John, thank you so much. And please let us know when we can get behind you and get public voices raised in large numbers to support the kind of legislation that we need to keep our progress moving in the district. I'm sure that people in this situation will turn out in virtual lobbying, emails and other things in large numbers to let our representatives know what we need for public education. And it's really good to hear that the county is in the forefront of efforts to do that. But please let us support you when the time comes.
Absolutely, Jim. And thank you for participating.
Thanks a lot.
Anyone else from the public? I'll take that as, okay, that's, okay, yes, you want a bone? And, okay.
Romeo wants to vote.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Who is that? Come on, Paul, track him down. Okay, let's move on to item 5 for the routine monthly business. Mr. Chicoletti, are you there?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, approve the minutes for April 16, 2020 meeting, approve the list of bills for May 2020, approve the treasurer's report for April 2020.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cullen. Does anybody have any questions or concerns regarding those items? Yeah, I'll take that as a no. Mrs. Moyer, you want to do the roll call?
Yes. Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Taglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliaco. I'll come back. Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Ruzin,
Yes.
and Mr. Poliapico, if you're there. Okay. Okay, that motion is passed.
Thank you. Item 6, under new business.
Mr. Chairman, approve the proposed final budget for the 2020-2021 fiscal year in the amount of $24,641.44.
No. $24,641,444.
Yes,
Motion by,
that's what I said.
motion by Mr. Chicoletti.
Second.
Second, Mr. Cullen.
Yes.
Anyone have any questions or concerns? I'll take that as a no. Mrs. Moyer, roll call vote?
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliapico, Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Ruzin. Mr. Ruzin?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is passed.
Okay, item B.
Mr. Chairman, approve the Bucks County Technical School High School budget for 2020-2021 fiscal year in the amount of $851,569, an increase of $46,639.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti, second by Mr. Cullen. Anyone have any questions or concerns? Mr. Rusin, your thoughts?
Yes.
Your thoughts on
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. You know what? They're looking for 100% participation in the vote here because the school districts of Ben Salem and Bristol Township are financially strapped right now. I mean, big time, and they need the votes to pass this. And you know what? It costs us a little bit over $15,000 per student compared to $18,000 for our district, and they do a wonderful job. And I ran this budget by Chris, and he seems to think it was fair. So I'm hoping everybody passes it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for keeping an eye on it. My only, as information, if everybody has a copy of this in the packet that Chris sent, and again, with all deference to Mr. Truelove, I did receive a call from Bristol Township because their costs are going up about $670,000 year over year, and $700,000 for Bristol Township. For Ben Salem, $670,000, and much of that is really not due to an increase in the dollar amount of the budget. It's just the way that they do the formulas and the way the kids attend it. We had that happen to us a few years ago, but I will say that I can sympathize with Bristol Township because in addition to everything else that's going on, their tech school budget is increased by $700,000. So but again, there's not a lot of fat there, and primarily that's due to the fact that Bristol Township sends a lot of kids there, and they actually are paying for the seats from some of the other schools like the Chamonix and Pennsbury, who are not sending their full allotment. So we did get ourselves into that kind of a situation maybe about 10 years ago, and I would agree with the rest of the board that we pass this, and hopefully the structural issues involving the tech school get resolved. It's nothing to do with this year's budget. So with that being said, Mrs. Moyer, could you do a roll call vote?
Yes. Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Perola,
Yes.
Palaski,
Yes.
and Mr. Rusin.
Yes.
Motion is
Thank you.
passed. Thank you.
Okay, John, unanimous. Okay, item C.
Mr. Chairman, approve the Bucks County Intermediate Unit 22 Special Education Budget for 2020-2021 fiscal year in the amount of $383,052.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti, second.
Second.
Mr. Cullen, any questions or concerns? And again, as opposed to the tech school budget, the IU budget, that particular part of it is like we're actually buying specified services. So there's, whatever we need, we have to buy, and that's who we purchase it. And, I know Chris looked at that really good. Chris, you're okay with that, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's for district services for tuition students and their services.
Thank you, Chris. All right. Ms. Moore?
Okay, Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Perola,
Yes.
Palaski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin.
Yes.
Okay, motion is passed.
Item D.
Mr. Chairman, approve the attached list of 2020 Bristol High School expected graduates upon successful completion of the academic requirements.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Can I get a second? Second.
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 Second by Mr. Cullen. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? The list is attached. Is that a final list, Dr. Minetti?
It is the final list. It is the final list as long as they meet the requirements between now and the end, yes.
Okay, that has 52 students, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or concerns? Mrs. Moyer?
Hey, sorry. Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglia,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
and Mr. Rusin.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Thank you. Item E.
Mr. Chairman, approve the appointment of John D'Angelo as Board Treasurer for 2020-2021 fiscal year. PA code indicates a Board Treasurer be appointed in May.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Second,
Second.
Mr. Cullen.
Yes.
Okay, just for the public, I have been serving as the treasurer, and when we, it basically involves just having my signature as a stamp or signing any kind of checks, and we just decided to keep me on for, you know, easiness, and if there's anyone else on the board that would want to serve, I'd be fine. Again, we're just really doing it to save money so we don't got to keep changing over and the administrative expenses and all the headaches involved. So I appreciate it. Anybody have any questions?
Just want to thank you for doing it.
All I'm doing is signing the thing. Thank you, John. Okay, Mrs. Clear, can we get a roll call?
Yes. Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo, you'll abstain?
I will abstain.
Okay, Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglia,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Papa.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rusin.
Yep.
Okay, motion is passed.
Thank you. Okay, so this would be item F. Mr. Chicoletti?
Mr. Chairman, authorized to advertise for bids for 3 boilers at Snyder Girardi Elementary School.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Parolo. He beat you. Okay, thanks. Okay, anyone have any questions or concerns about what we're doing?
Question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So tomorrow, Mr. Gatto, Mr.
McHugh.
Mr. Gatto, Mr. McHugh, and the contractor will meet to go over all of the details to make sure that we have everything in the bid, all the specs are right.
Absolutely. And then also Mr. McHugh will forward over to our solicitor.
Yeah, I will discuss with the solicitor as well.
Yes. And once the solicitor signs off on it, you know, we will, Mr. Trulove, you will have like some kind of a formal contract.
Once it's awarded, yes, we would do that, yes.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. So that being said, any other questions? If not,
Yeah, the second part, John, Mr. Chairman? Yes. Is that we have a rough idea what the boilers are going to cost. Are we going to bid out the other materials such as valves, piping, copper tubing, those things, computers?
I thought that Mr. McHugh said that's all included
In
the boiler bid.
Right, but all of those things, right, are going to be included in there, as much as we could think
In the
of.
boiler bid, exactly.
Right.
Mr. Chicoletti, yes, they will.
Okay, as much as we could think of, and then maybe bring the price down.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Mrs. Moyer, can I get a roll call?
Okay, Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliaco,
Yes.
Mr. Perola,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin.
Yes.
Okay, motion is passed 9-0.
Okay, item 7, personnel.
Mr. Chairman, approve the collective bargaining agreement between the Bristol Borough Education Support Professional Association and the Bristol Borough School District, July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2023.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti, second.
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 Second by Mr. Cullen. Anybody have any questions or concerns?
I do. You know, as much as I hate to say it, I can't support this because of the situation we're in with this coronavirus thing and a lot of people out of work. So I'm just sorry, but that's the way it has to be for me.
Thank you, Mr. Rusin. Anybody else? Okay, Mrs. Moyer, can you do a roll call vote?
Okay, Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliaco.
The way that the increases are structured at this time, I have to say no.
No, okay. Noted. Mr. Perola,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin.
No.
Noted. Okay, motion is passed.
What was the count, 6-3?
No.
7-2, right?
7-2, John.
Oh, I thought Mr. DeMarcus voted no.
Oh, did you, Mr. DeMarcus?
I voted yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nunzio.
That's all right.
Okay. So 7-2.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that does it for the regular business motions. Could we talk to, we have our IU representative, Mary Agnes. Would you like to add anything or?
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. Just a quick announcement. The Bucks IU is partnering with the United Way of Bucks County to offer 7th and 8th grade students an opportunity to participate in the iSTEAM Student Conference, iSTEAM being science, technology, engineering, math, and manufacturing. It's the biggest student conference in Bucks County. This year it will be held virtually online on May 21st at 9:30 a.m. And students can register and access the program through a private link that is being provided to science teachers across Bucks County, should there be any interest.
Thank you. And just to add that, you know, I think our district has done a really remarkable job of kind of flipping the switch and going from traditional learning to distant learning and online. And it was really through much of the help of the IU. And for the IU to be able to turn this iSTEAM event, which was a very well attended and just a really hugely successful in person, where all the schools sent their students, and it was really a great kind of a competition, now that they're able to, in the very first time, turn it into a virtual event it really says something about all the hard work that they do at the IU, and they really make the template for us and all the other school districts to use and get better. Thank you so much, Mary Agnes, for all you guys do, and let's hope that our entries into the ice skating event come home victoriously.
Thank you, John.
Okay. For information and discussion, we are scheduling 2 meetings next month for the purpose to come back and to get a better handle on what's going to go on with our graduation. Right now, it's scheduled for Thursday, May 4th, and we'll also have another meeting on May 25th, I believe.
June 4th, Mr.
Excuse
D'Angelo.
me, June 4th. Thank you. And June 25th, we'll come back, and that will be anyone that between now and then that wants to look at the hard copy of our budget. It'll be on display. You see our business manager, and at that time, unless anything changes, we'll be voting to approve the budget, that we did tonight. So, anybody have any questions? Let's go on to around the horn here. Let's start off with Mr. Rusin. Any comments?
No, I'm all right.
And again, John, thanks for keeping an eye on that tech school.
I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it, and good people over there.
Well, I know you like the chocolate chip cookies as well.
Oh, that's for sure.
They are good.
All right.
Hey, you know what? That's the only thing about the virtual meetings. I get a virtual cookie.
Mr. Poplawski.
I just want to thank all the staff members. I mean, people that aren't doing this daily, like Google Classroom. Some are doing some other options and phone calls, and it's our administration, our teachers, our cafeteria staff, our maintenance staff that are on the rotating schedule. I just want to thank them because me personally, being a teacher, I know I'm struggling some days with trying to balance that, being a parent. So I just want to thank everybody that's doing everything they're doing for our kids.
Thank you, Mike. Mr. Parolo.
I just want to thank Dr. Rose Minetti for handling all this stuff, and just to assure everybody that the school will be ready when the kids are going to come back. We're doing everything to make it safe, so just be prepared to come back in September, because I know the parents are going crazy. Thank you.
Mr. Polyasco.
Yes, I would just like to thank Dr. Minetti for all her hard work, and Kelly and Bobby and George and the whole staff, the teachers, all the way down to the cafeteria workers. Also, I have a question as far as the shed, the progress on the shed. Can somebody give me an update on that?
Well, yeah, I can. Everything's going. We're waiting on to see if we can get a price discount on the concrete. The labor is going to be free. So once we get the word on the concrete, then we're going to go.
Hello? The dog bit him.
I don't know what. I was looking for some type of cost analysis, I guess, what this is actually costing. And, I understand there's been some added costs, plus the cost of our maintenance department being out there. Anybody have any ideas on the added cost?
Chris?
I mean, other than the cost of the project, which was, I think, $31,800 to put it up, I haven't seen anything. Now, obviously, if the maintenance guys are out there, I can kind of guesstimate on how many hours they're spending out there. I can talk to Mr. Gatto about that. But I haven't really seen anything yet. I know the concrete is coming, but I don't think I've contributed anything or paid anything in the way of of billing for that yet, other than the initial cost to build it.
Chris, was there added cost for drainage?
Not that I've seen yet. I know they've asked for additional things. I know Fred's still working with Gilmore, but I haven't seen any billing or anything in regards to that.
Freddie's taking care of most of that.
I understand,
Yeah.
I understand that, but I was told that there's some added cost because Gilmore is requiring added drainage and stone and drainage material. Any ideas on that?
He already took care of it.
Oh, okay.
What was the answer to that?
He already took care of it.
Yeah, but what was the cost?
Freddie Cullen did. He got the backhoe from the borough. He dug it out. He put some stone in, and that was the end of it.
What was the cost of the stone?
Well, I think he might have got it from the stone that was there. It wasn't that long. It was maybe about, you're looking at maybe 12 a foot, maybe wide, maybe 30 foot long. So it really wasn't a real, true drainage ditch that you had to dig out. It was just moving the water a different way. So, he took care of it, though.
Chris, why don't we just, when you get a chance, just do a quick analysis of roughly how many hours, if we had to spend any money to buy stone or any other, any piping or anything, and I'm sure it's kind of incidental, but just put that together so when at the end of the day, when we look at that whole project, we can see the cost and all the incidental things that we had to do. Because I agree, there's other things that are being done.
That's fine. I'll talk to Fred and George about what they're doing.
Very good. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Bonofco?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Faglione.
Yes, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Minetti and her administration, her support staff, and especially the teachers who are doing a phenomenal job with this virtual learning. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Faglione. Mr. DeMarcus.
Not much for me tonight. Just want to say thank you to everyone, and everybody please stay safe out there.
Thank you, Mr. DeMarcus. Mr. Cullen.
Thank you, Nunzio.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to thank everybody too. I know everybody has a thank to other. I agree with everybody. The only thing I really wanted to ask was Dr. Minetti. You talked earlier about the summer programs. Could you kind of go over that again? I know you mentioned Century 21 and stuff we're going to be doing over the summer. Can you shed a little bit light for, I guess, the other people that are on the school board site right now?
Sure. We have an extended school year program that we run every year. This year, it will be virtual because those are our most at-risk students. Sometimes they're health fragile, so we certainly don't want to bring them back into the building. So ESY, or extended school year, for our students who qualify, will be over the summer and virtual. 21st Century runs a lot of camps over the summer through our grant. I'm working with Stacy, Evan, and Arletta right now to ensure that we still have those camps, but we may have to do them virtually. We are going to discuss this on Monday with the other districts that are also in Lower Bucks County that have grants through 21st Century to make sure that we're being consistent across the board. But it looks right now with the governor's orders that are in place, even if we're in yellow, we can only have 25 gather at a time. Therefore, we wouldn't be able to have the summer camps in-house, that they would have to be virtual. But we want to make sure we solidify that with the other school districts so that we're all on the same page.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you. Yeah, and the other thing too, just like Mary Jane said, I want to really thank the teachers and the job you guys are doing with these teachers for this virtual school and stuff. Like I said, I see it all the time here, and it's. I mean, you can say what you want about the teachers, but they're doing a hell of a job. like getting the message over to these kids, and the participation from these kids are just unbelievable. You know, and a lot of people around town are talking about how nice it is and how well it's run, and I think it's a great thing that we're doing. And that's it. I'm sorry. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Mr. Ciccoletti.
Yes, this looks like, I keep a little score sheet here that in the 30 years I've been around, it looks like 22 years we haven't increased taxes. And that goes out to the credit of all the school board members for working hard, and the administration. I think the administration got what they asked for. We have some left over. And just an example of that tonight was our discussion involving the boilers. If somebody just would have took somebody's word for it, you would have had a $350,000 bill, okay? And you see how our deep discussion resolves some of these issues and actually saves a few dollars. And that's just an example of tonight. But over the years, everybody's worked hard. John's worked hard on the tech school budget, but this is an extraordinary feat that we've accomplished here in Bristol Borough. And once again, it's to everyone's credit. You know, the administration has to give in to some things, and we have to give in. But to have no tax increase and see where our fellow neighbor Marsville's 1.5 million in a hole, so maybe they don't question some of the things that we do. Maybe we give them a little tutoring. But on the end of that, thank you, Dr. Minetti, the administration, all the teachers, everybody, cafeteria workers, Kelly Rosado, Bobby, George, doing a great job. You know, really proud of you guys. And John, good job with the tech school budget. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ciccoletti. And I just have one thing that I would like to let the rest of the board know. On Tuesday night, the Grundy Foundation put out a little Zoom meeting, and they laid out their 5-year plan for what they're going to actually do. You know, as far as the museum, maybe installing some restrooms, installing an amphitheater over there, installing wireless, a more robust, wireless program within the library, and also expanding their archival space. And it's a pretty it's very a nice plan that they have. You know, because of the coronavirus, that they are going to have to delay some things. But you know, Dr. Minetti has been partnering with the library, the people at the library, and the Grundy Foundation. They are big partners and on many fronts. And so they wanted me to let you know that once everything gets opened up, you'll be able to go down there and actually see the plans. And hopefully when they get around to some of the things that we share, common things with, they may be coming to us to ask for us if there's anything we need or would like to add some enhancement to it. So you know, that's just something that's in the works. And again, once the library is opened up, you can go down there and see the plans. And with that, again,
John?
Great job, everyone. Yes.
John?
Yes,
yeah, you got to see to see the plans because you live in the neighborhood there. Can we all see the plans? I mean, or is that still?
Well, here's what's happening. Now they're going to go to the zoning, and I think the zoning meeting is next week. It's actually going to be held. What I'll do is I'll get you the date on it, and I'll let Dr. Minetti forward it to the rest of the board if you want to go to the meeting. But let me warn you, the meeting is actually at the Borough Works down, you know, where they keep all the trucks. And because that they haven't really had a lot of zoning things in the last 2 months, I think they said there was 7 or 8 in addition to Grundy's, which is probably at least a 15 to 20 minute, a half hour presentation. But there's 7 or 8 other people there that are going. So once you get the date, if you're going to go, be prepared. But once they get that, I think the approval will be kind of pretty quickly coming. Then you can just go right to the library and see. but it's pretty aggressive thing that they want to do, and it's really, I think, us being one of their biggest partners. And look, as most of all of our kids have learned how to go to school remotely, and so we would have to expect that when everything gets settled back, that things aren't going to come back. The tide's not going to come in the same way it went out, and there may be some children or some families that decide to stay virtual, online, whatever. And that being the case, that the Grundy Library will be something that's pretty valuable, a resource for our students and us as well. So, Dave, did you have a question? No? Okay. Well, with that, if there's not, I have one other thing, Kelly Rosado. Kelly, I have some. I just wanted to know how are you working the pantry? Because I've got some stuff, and I don't know, like, I could just take it and go give it to the food bank, but are you still accepting stuff for the pantry?
John, we haven't accepted any donations because of the virus since school closed on March 13th. And so I would recommend that you send them over to the pantry or the food bank on Mill Street. And we have actually donated some stuff to there as well. So for the time being, that's what I would recommend.
Yes, and that's why I figured. I just wanted to get that. So thank you again. Thank you. And with that, if there's no other business, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Mr. Chicoletti makes Mr. Poliafico second, and the meeting is adjourned.